Hi everyone, welcome back to the Salt and Sauce podcast. Slightly different this week, obviously. We've got the international fixtures that we'll discuss briefly, and then we'll move on to talk about the upcoming Hearts and Hibs games this weekend. I'm joined as always by my Hibs supporting friend Robert. How are you doing this week?
I'm all good, thanks. I'm all good. Actually ended up in the hospital last week.
Yeah,
So
you got a season ticket there, have you not?
a season ticket. Yeah, my ankles, both of them just blew up and turned out I had a bad case of gout. So that was very unpleasant.
Now,
Horrible, horrible stuff.
it's it is just such an old person's thing to get. I've always thought gout, and it's probably the one thing you've not had in your legs so far.
I've got it now.
Yeah,
So
that's full
it's
house.
been unpleasant, but I'm back on my feet again. So
Yeah. Oh, well, no, sorry to hear that, mate. I've heard gout is sort of funny as the word is it's a grim thing to have. So,
oh, it's nasty, nasty, nasty. Wouldn't wish it on anyone.
um, what might have cheered you up though was a good weekend for the national team, Rob. Two good results.
Yeah. I I know I said I wasn't really looking forward to it, and
Yeah,
we are awful to watch. Like we're really, really boring team to watch. And I just think, okay, in the end, the results, it's the results that matter. Like I've always said, I don't care if Hibs play badly. If we win 1-0 every week, who cares? If you win 1-0 every second week, you're gonna end up kind of near the top of the table. But
yeah,
I just think Scotland have so many good players, and it just frustrates me that Clarke doesn't just seem to want to unleash them. Now, I'll caveat
yeah,
by saying Denmark are a good team. I think it was overplayed how good they were. Like, I
yeah.
don't think they're that good. And you look at our players, a lot of them play in Premier League, and I just think, you know, he sticks with the same old tried, tested players.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. I don't enjoy watching Scotland these days. I just don't enjoy it. But good
Yeah.
results.
From a football point of view, I know what you mean. I've been more and more into Scotland the last few years. I do find it really enjoying to get behind them. I agree with you. Are they like, if it was a neutral watching that, would I enjoy that? Probably not. I suppose the only thing I would say in his defence as well, though, is if you look at the person I would say is our most exciting player, out and out excitement is well, Ben Gannon Doak, to give him his full name now. That's a wee bit woke, but I'll say Ben Doak. But he's been injured for quite a while, so he's not going to play two games in 4 days. Same with Hickey, who I thought was really good against Denmark. He's not going to be able to play a second game 4 days later. So his hands are a wee bit tied with that. And you look at some of our other really good players. John McGinn is brilliant. I love him a bit, but he's more of an industrial type player than a
Mm,
than a, a flair player, as it were. Same even with McTominay and Gilmore and all these guys. Dykes does a job for us, Adams, but none of them are subtle or exciting in the way that Doak is. And I don't know that we've got too many players. Ryan Christie can kind of do it on his day, although he's actually been a bit better dropping in. I think he's getting the best with what he's got, if you know what I mean. He's getting results, and if you get clean sheets, you're getting at least a point, and he's got two clean sheets.
yeah,
Is it?
yeah. Um, I was listening to the sports sound about it, and they were kind of saying, fair play, a point away Denmark, who were billed as the strongest in our group. I think Greece are the strongest, to be honest.
Well, I would have agreed with you, but I mean, there's Denmark just beat Greece 3-0 uh, last last night. Yeah, when Scotland were winning 2-0. So I mean, I agree with you because I was at the Greece game when they destroyed us at Hampden
Yeah.
3-0. We were lucky to get a 3-0 that night. It was shocking. Um, So I would agree with you. Denmark, I think, to be honest, are living off a bit of a reputation from
Mhm.
days of having the likes of Christian Eriksen, who
Yeah.
was obviously he was a class
Oh,
player,
it's class act, world class.
and I think maybe they're sort of off the ball, and you're now talking about folk like Hoyland rather than Eriksen. So they
Mm.
maybe a little bit of reputation there, but that it's still definitely a good result away to Denmark getting a point. I'm not sure who's better out of Denmark and Greece right now because I would have agreed with you before last night, but Denmark have gone there and won 3-0. I mean. It's a
Yeah.
good result.
Oh no, it's more than a good, it's a great result. I don't know, there's just something about Steve Clarke and when I think it stemmed from I was, and I'm still right behind Scotland. Like I'm a Scotland supporter, of course, I want us to do well.
Yeah.
But when we were in Germany and
Well, man, yeah. What a letdown.
it was just like even that last game where we had to win.
I know.
And again, we were just playing like a draw was okay.
It's such a regret, isn't it? Like that's in fairness, he'll say, "Look, I've got you to two tournaments, and you went years without getting there." But we've gone to both of them, and it's been really flat, really disappointing.
Also easier to qualify than it ever has been. So we need to throw
Also
that in
true.
as well.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely, and that is important to remember that I would say. And actually, I mean, I don't like that. I'd rather earn it the way it's meant to be earned.
But even like right, the Danish game, fair enough. Okay, that could have gone either way. And a point's a good result. I thought Hanley was outstanding. And again, I think Hanley was showing the qualities that I think a lot of Hibs fans thought we were getting. And I think it just highlights that, again, the mistake Gray made in Europe, not bringing on a guy of his caliber who just has that know how, the experience, put his body on the line, and just can kind of marshal a defence when you're up against it. Because that's what he did.
I rate Hanley, and he gets a tough time of it because he is what he is, and he's never going to be Beckenbauer bringing the ball out of defence and spraying passes or anything like that. But mate, he's a good defender. And as you say, he'll block shots. He'll outmuscle people, and he'll win his headers. And I know most people would like that, but I know you in particular, you quite like your defenders just win the ball and defend, and then give it to the players who can play football.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, I agree with you.
Um,
So, I mean, yeah, bringing it back to Hibs, I would feel a bit frustrated if I was a Hibs fan watching
yeah.
that and then thinking, well, we could have had that in our defence.
And to be fair, I said it on the pod before he even put in that performance for Scotland. I just thought
Yes.
it was just a bizarre decision. But anyway, he did well for Scotland. I think, okay, the Danish result is a good result. Okay performance. And then the
Belarus game.
Belarus game, I
I thought
mean,
that was professional.
it was professional, but let's be honest. I mean, Belarus they're a dreadful, dreadful
Oh,
team.
no, I would again. I think that's a little bit harsh. Like you've got teams like San Marino and Liechtenstein and all. They're proper bottom rung. Belarus are better than that. I'm not saying they're good, but they're
Mm,
they're not quite your bottom of the barrel team that you get in Europe. It's the sort of thing that Scotland, I nearly said Hearts there, they've probably done similar. Sort of thing Scotland have done before, like going away to Georgia and losing 2-0 a few years ago.
mm,
Um, it's the sort of one that could slip us up, could trip us up, but it didn't. I thought we were really professional actually. We got the goal. It was a nicely worked goal. McTominay knocking it back across. Adams probably should do more of that, just get in between the posts and tap the ball in. Um, and then, although it's an own goal, a beautifully worked second goal. Really nice
mm.
link up, Gilmore Adams. Um, and then from there, like I was just not worried, and I can't remember the last time I watched a Scotland game and just not felt worried at all that we were going to, especially away from home, especially no fans, no atmosphere, all these sorts of things.
Mm.
I thought there was so much potential for it to go wrong last night, but it didn't.
I just think as well, and yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there. You're 2-0 up, and you've got a couple of exciting youngsters on the bench.
And
You've
Kenny
got
McLean comes on.
you've got Bowie, throw him on for half an hour. Like, let's see how he does. He's shown in Europe he can cope with, let's say better players than what Belarus are going to put out on the pitch. Let's put him on for half an hour. Let's give Lennon Miller half an hour. It was just like,
Well, Miller did come on actually, but
yeah, for like
you
10
could have got a
minutes.
bit, you could have got a bit longer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You throw on Kenny McLean, like we throw on Dykes. We know what these guys can do.
What are we going to learn from Kenny McLean
That's what
coming?
I'm saying. Like the game
Again,
was won.
I don't mind McLean. I think he gets quite a hard rep. He always does a relatively solid, well, not always, but usually gives you a relatively solid performance. I don't mind him being in the squad, but you're right. Could well, yeah, Bowie was in my head about getting there. But then the other thing, I suppose, as well, it was nice to see. Although I didn't think he played particularly well, Max Johnson came in, I actually thought he looked a bit.
Yeah, he was very shaky.
I thought Hickey looked good coming back in.
Yeah.
Gunn looked a wee bit more assured than he had done for a while. Um, I thought Robertson was good as well. Robertson's been off the boil for me for a wee while actually, but again he just looked professional again.
Who are the two home games next? It's Greece and who else?
Greece and Belarus. I actually just booked my Greece tickets today, and we're hoping to get to Belarus as well.
If we want to qualify from the group, we need to take 6 points from that.
Do you think so?
I think so. I don't think obviously Belarus is a no-brainer, but I think we need to beat Greece in this home
Of
tip.
course, because what we're left with after that is our final two games being away to Greece and home to Denmark.
Yeah.
And
So
I know we've just drawn with Denmark, but there's a big possibility that we take 0 points from those final two games.
yeah, we need 6 points.
But
Um
we've also gone to Greece recently and won. We've beaten Denmark at Hampden recently,
yeah,
3-0, I think it was, or 3-1. Adams, I remember scoring the third. I know what you're saying though. Obviously, you're in a much better place. I would probably feel still okay if we had 4 points, but I know what you mean. That's a home game in the group and a home game against the weakest team in the group. That's an
yeah.
absolute must win that.
I just think we need to win those games, and with the players at our disposal, like we can do it, and we've shown, over the
Yeah.
years, even under Clarke, that we can perform in these big games. I just hope he gets his tactics right, team selection right, and at times he just lets the players play. And you need to sometimes, like that second half with Hibs in Europe, where
And
you have
Warsaw.
to get a result against Warsaw. You have to just let the shackles off sometimes and just go,
Yeah.
right, you just need to go for it.
Yeah,
Forget about
do what
the
you
game,
need to
go
do.
for it.
Yeah, and if we lose another goal,
Then so be it.
uh, no, no, I get what you're saying there, and who knows, maybe have Bowie and James Wilson up front for the next game, and they can
I
get
doubt it.
a hat
Uh,
trick each.
it'll be Adams or Dykes, and this
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
and Um, you know, a lot of people are saying it's a bit harsh on Clarke, criticizing him for that. But I don't know. The game's won at 2-0. I just think let's see what two of these youngsters can do. Just give them 20 minutes against a poor team. The game's over. And, just add a little bit of excitement to maybe what's coming in the future as well. But
No, no,
like,
I hear what you're saying. That said, if you'd said 2 clean sheets and 4 points from the first two games,
yeah.
the vast majority of Scotland fans would have said, "I'll
Oh
take that."
no, I'm happy. I'm happy enough with that. I just think we're an awful team to watch. But anyway.
Probably true. Probably true. Speaking of awful teams to watch, we've got Hibs and Hearts back in action this weekend. Um, I, I would argue the Hibs game is massive. It's a really big one, and yet somehow the Hearts game's bigger. I would say
Mm,
just because of the when you're playing the Old Firm,
yeah.
um, and given the opportunity that is there this season for both clubs to maybe nip in a second. So obviously Hearts are going to Ibrox on Saturday afternoon. Um, we we can win, definitely. And I mean, I know that's always true, but I would say even more true right now. The thing that worries me about Hearts is in Glasgow is for all we've had some good teams over the last few years, we've just bottled it in Glasgow.
Mhm.
Now I know that's down to the likes of having managers like Craig Levein, Robbie Nielsen, Stephen Naismith, who are all a bit safety Sam,
Mhm.
and that gets you results, as we just
Mhm.
said with Steve Clarke, that will get you results. But it does mean that sometimes we absolutely bottle it and we still end up losing like 4 or 5-0 and it's just so embarrassing and we still go on and finish third. It really frustrates me. You're thinking, like, the next step is we need to be going there and giving these guys a game, taking them on. And if you still lose 2 or 3-0, but you've attacked them, you've created chances and all that, then you can at least live with that a little bit better. But what we're doing was just playing rubbish and losing
Mhm.
pretty comfortably. So I suppose my concern is McInnes that different from Nielsen, Levine, Naismith, all these people? If you'd asked me a few months ago, I would have said no. But if you look at the Hearts games so far this season, we have been scoring goals. Okay, we're conceding them as well. But Rangers have been awful for conceding chances. the problem is every season when Hearts go through to Glasgow, whether it's Rangers or Celtic, I think about what's different this season. We've got this player in, this will be a bit different.
Mm,
They're
mm.
a bit shaky here. And I get all excited about the fact that here we go, we might go in and get a 1-0 or a 2-1 or whatever, and then we just don't. Now, obviously, we have in that time had some positive results, but largely speaking, that has been the theme for a number of years now, and it's so frustrating. The other thing that makes me a bit nervous is Rangers have been poor this season. They do tend to up it a bit more for big games, and I would say Hearts is one of their bigger games in the season, other than obviously the Old Firm. But European games, they tend to up it for that as well. They've also brought in the likes of Miovski, good player. I thought he actually looked quite good against Celtic, even though that was the worst game of football I've ever seen in my life.
Mm.
He was getting in behind, he was stretching them a little bit. So I think it's a really tough game to call. I honestly, because of the way it's been going so far, we could go there and win by a couple of goals if they have their shocker of a performance that they've had a few times, and we play like we've played on occasion. We could also lose by a few goals. It could draw. There's so many things that very few results would surprise me on Saturday. From your point of view, Rob, how are you looking at that game?
Yeah, again, a very, very hard game to call. Uh, I think if Hearts do go there with the mentality of let's sit in,
Mm,
obviously that's going to favour Rangers. If Hearts go there and genuinely believe that they can win the game and they set up to attack, because that's the way to beat Rangers. You know, that's how teams have dismantled them this season. That's why the manager's under pressure. If you can get that home crowd quiet
mm.
on the manager's back, on the players' back, all it's going to
Oh
take
yeah.
is a 1-0 Hearts to go one up. So I think that it's all about not how Rangers approach it, because we know what their weaknesses are. It's about how Hearts approach it. So if Hearts go there and attack and put out an attacking team and go for it and they're up for it, Hearts will win the game because that Rangers team is one of the poorest. Now, not on paper, but just for some reason collectively as a team, that is one of
Performance.
the poorest Rangers teams that there's been in years, and
Yeah.
they've got a weak mentality and they've got a soft centre. So that's why I'm saying it's about what Hearts do. If Hearts go there and let them get ahead and just think, oh, we'll contain it and wait for our chance and hit them on the counter, that's not going to cut it.
No.
If Hearts go there and genuinely believe and go out on all-out attack from the first whistle, make it uncomfortable for them, get the fans on the players' back, go one up, then I'd have to favour Hearts. And from what I've seen from McInnes, I think he will go for the attack. It's strange to say that, but
No, I mean, I certainly hope
but I
so.
do.
I certainly hope so. And the thing you think, I mean, you're mentioning an attack there. The thing I'm actually more excited about, where I think we get joy, is the high press because they'll try and
Mm,
play out from the
mm,
back. And if we've got the likes of, I mean, Braga's your best example. He'll chase, he'll harry, he'll close people down. Kizaridis will do that as well if he plays, and I hope he does. I think if we can then get the likes of, it depends who plays, but Beningame and Devlin, if they can do that higher up the pitch and squeeze them in, and support so that they cut off that space in the middle there, i.e. what we didn't do against Motherwell. Um, then I can actually also see tactically, not that I'm a tactical genius, but I can see tactically how we could do it if
mm.
we do it. Um, I know we like to do predictions on it. I'm finding it really tough to call this because, as you say, it depends. It depends on what Hearts do. You're right. I know what you're saying about Rangers. We kind of know what they're going to do, but it
Mm.
depends how well they do it. And
Yeah,
it depends how well these new guys settle in. Like I say, I think Miovski has proven that he's a dangerous
yeah.
player in the league. You'll do well, I'm sure.
There's still a decent midfield as well, Rangers.
I know. It's the worst thing you can do there is go there and think that they're a terrible team. They're not. They've still got a budget way beyond
Mm.
10 of the 11 other clubs in that league, and should on paper be comfortably beating the likes of Hearts and Hibs.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed. What's your prediction?
I know. Um, I honestly can't give you a head prediction. I can give you a
Yeah.
heart prediction, and
Mhm.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Hearts.
Wow. Okay. Um, Again, very, very difficult. I'm gonna go for a 2-all draw.
As I said before, it wouldn't surprise me just because we've been conceding goals, they've been
Yeah,
conceding goals and chances.
that's my thinking, and it's at Ibrox as well. So McInnes might be a little bit more cautious. I do think he will attack, but I think he'll be a little bit more cautious. And I think even then, Rangers do have better players that if you do make mistakes, more often than not, they'll punish you as well. But I think Hearts will score as well, so that's why I'm going for the 2-all. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think the Hearts team's capable of it, going there and winning. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
You've also got to include the Rangers' 93rd minute penalty as well. That's one of their goals taken care of.
VAR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Speaking
2-all.
speaking of teams who benefit a lot from VAR, Hibs are in action this weekend as
Mm.
well against a team you did have a good VAR decision from last season, the Dundee United game. Yous are at home to Dundee United,
We're at home to Dundee United. I think we're going to be showing off our hoops kit, I think, for
right?
our
Okay,
150th year.
all right,
So that'll be interesting. I'm going. I'm going to it.
all
So
right.
over in Edinburgh this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, Dundee United have improved, I think, from the start to the season. I think they showed in Europe. They didn't disgrace themselves at all. They kind of threw it away a bit in the end,
Yeah,
but they showed they can compete against better teams. I still think Hibs have had the benefit of now a couple of weeks rest. Europe's over now.
you don't
All
even
the
need to think
mental
about it.
fatigue of that, the physical fatigue should all be out the window. We've had more time to bed the new players in as well to our system. And again, I'm not predicting like a 2-0, 3-0. I think Hibs will win, and I think we'll win 2-1. I think we'll have too much firepower for them. We are a better team than Dundee United, and I think with the rest, with what's expected to be a big crowd at Easter Road this Saturday, I think we'll just have a bit too much for them. So I think it'll be a long overdue home win in the league, and I'm going for 2-1 Hibs.
That was your last home win competitively was Dundee United in May. Wait,
And did you see just on because we've been talking about VAR, did you see the SFA admitted it was a mistake not to send the ref to the monitor
what
for
was that?
the
Oh yeah,
last game
for the
against
last
St Mirren?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but as we said, like it's no use now.
No,
Like
I know,
it's
I know.
it's what like cheers, mate.
Yeah,
That's the way you kind of deal with that because the game's gone now. And I wouldn't have minded so much, right? If VAR had just said to the ref, "Look, we think you missed a handball here. We're not telling you it's a penalty,
I'll go
but
look.
go and just have a look and make up your own mind." And
Like
if you
the
don't,
like the ref did in the Denmark game.
absolutely no problem. And like what a strong ref, like that fair play.
Yeah.
Would much prefer that refs are called over and they make their own decision. Now, don't get me wrong, I think everyone could see it was a penalty, but at least if the ref goes over and he goes, well, you know what? I'm going to stick with my decision. I don't see enough there that that's a penalty or it's a clear-cut decision. And I'm going to stick with my own. I'd have so much more respect for that than just nothing, like
It's
not even a review of that incident.
it's weird. You can obviously you can see why the ref doesn't give it in real time because
Oh, no,
you,
no, absolutely.
it depends on your angle and blah 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 and there's loads of reasons. But you're right, VAR is more responsible here because the ref won't see that again until
Yeah,
after the game. And that's where, yeah, you're right. They need to be saying you need to go look at this and
yeah.
make that from there.
And I don't like VAR saying like that is a penalty.
Yeah,
It's just VAR saying, look,
give it
the
a review.
the ball's hit the hand here. Will you just go over and have a look? I think you might have missed something.
Yeah.
That's all. And then the ref makes their own call pitch side, having reviewed from a few different angles. That's
It's funny. It's what you say about the statement. You're like, well, what good does that do? Does that mean that the next time there's a 50-50 call, you're going to give it to Hibs just to make up for it? Because what if you're up against another team that's had an apology recently? Like, who do you then give that? You
yeah,
can't even go punish them for that.
yeah.
It doesn't really mean much. The only thing that they might say is, okay, we'll do things differently next time. We will send the referee. But what if it's against the Hibs when that happens, and then you lose
Mm,
it twice because of that?
mm,
It's honestly, I mean, we've spoken about VAR a lot. I just think it needs to either go, or it should be more like what it used to be in tennis with Hawkeye. You get three challenges, and a manager gets to say, "I want that reviewed," and
mm,
and then it's totally up to the ref from there. But they're just saying, "I want that reviewed. I think it was a handball. Go have a look,"
mm,
and
mm.
it has to be looked at. But other than that, VAR, keep out, stay out of the game.
But like how I just don't get how, I think it's three guys can sit in a room and look at that incident and just go, oh no, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Like it's with whether it's like a penalty or not, it's worth a review.
Aye, it's one guy with a heart strip sitting next to a guy in a cigarette strip. That looks fine to me.
Don't bother, it's Hibs.
That's
Uh,
honestly that's the only solution. That's the only explanation. Sorry, that's left for that incident. I think.
it is in Clancy, like himself was in the VAR room. He is known for giving some dodgy decisions against Hibs.
What is it?
Oh,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I know that Hearts fans have the same belief about certain refs that they don't like.
mm,
Um, I don't know the stats for Hibs and Clancy right enough, but I know sometimes you get that ref and you just think you
mm,
don't like us, and I've always thought that about Nick Walsh in particular. Well,
mm.
it's just oh god.
So yeah, that that's just kind of confirmation that,
Yeah.
I was right in feeling aggrieved, but also, I liked how David Gray, all he said about it was, is someone will need to just explain those decisions to me. But he also took accountability and said, you know what, it shouldn't have come down to a VAR decision, that we should have
Well,
dealt with this in the game.
he is actually right to say that as
Yeah,
well because yeah, probably should have been out of sight. Maybe is a bit extreme, but you should have at least had another goal or two
yeah,
from all
yeah,
the chances you had. So I actually always think Gray conducts himself well in interviews. He does. He is he's honest. He avoids getting too downhearted, but he also
yeah,
avoids getting too excited when things are going well.
yeah.
He's a nice level-headed guy. He is.
And I think that's when we were going through our sticky patch. I think that's why he came out with so much credit, because
Yeah.
a lot of managers, when they're under pressure and they're like, his job was on the line, you know what I mean? You can get ratty and you can get personal, and you can with the journalists, and like it just builds pressure. Then I just thought for a rookie manager, he did so well in
Oh,
keeping
he did.
ground. And even throughout that amazing run that we did go on to get third, he was the same. He just stayed consistent. It was just like the next game, and even at the end of the season, he was saying, it's a great achievement, and the players are getting what they deserve. But now we look at the pre-season, and we look at how we can get stronger and come back. It wasn't like,
Hard work starts now.
let's all kind of, celebrate and go crazy. He's just a real kind of level-headed guy, and I think the players really benefit from that.
Definitely. No, no, I do agree. It pains me to say it, but he does come across really, really well. And I mean, the run at the start was awful, and actually, I don't know. Certainly from what I saw, it's not as if the performances were particularly encouraging either.
Oh,
Like,
they weren't. They weren't. They were
and
awful.
it would have been so easy to get ratty because you're facing the
Yeah.
same questions every week
Uh,
about another disappointing. The fans are saying this, your job's on the line. And it would be quite easy to say, you keep asking me this every week or whatever, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
brag a wee bit. But no, he
We
kept
never
it,
did.
and it's certainly paying off at the minute.
Yeah.
Back to the
So,
Dundee United game. Then you're saying a 2-1 Hibs result, 2-1 Hibs victory.
yeah,
Um, I've been on a little bit of a roll. I'm going to take credit for Hibs dropping a couple of points recently, so I'm going to say a 1-1 Hibs Dundee United at the weekend there. I think I've called it a couple of times now when you have dropped points, so
yeah.
I'm delighted with that.
You're
Uh,
hoping the curse sticks.
what's that?
You're hoping that the curse that you've put
Yeah,
on the
exactly. Yeah,
sticks.
yeah, yeah. I'm like Paul the Octopus years ago predicting.
Yeah.
Um, cool. All right. Well, exciting games. Actually, I genuinely mean it. I know Hearts and Rangers will probably catch most of the headlines, but Hibs and United is a massive game.
Oh, absolutely.
Dundee United will obviously have ambitions for top six
Yeah.
European places. That's obviously what Hibs are. Well, Hibs, I dare say, are looking a little bit beyond top six, but obviously you're in amongst the same part of the league. That'd be a massive result for them if they can win at
Yeah.
Easter.
Yeah. And from a Hibs just the end and the kind of Hibs squad, I guess. I know we were talking about Dykes in the last podcast, and I think that just fell through because apparently Birmingham changed their mind and wanted Hibs to cover, three-quarters of his wages. And at that point, obviously, Malky Mackay was like, "Well, we can't." So,
No,
although the player wants to come to us, we just can't do that financially. So,
yeah.
it was a bit of a disappointment, but I hope we are still looking at the free agent market because when Bowie gets tired, we need another player that can come up there and hold it up and be physical because all our other players are kind of technical, quick players. That
Kluja
play
can't
on.
really do that.
No, we need
He
a.
looks good.
Oh no, absolutely. But he needs a big guy to play off. We need a
Yeah.
big guy, target man up there to hold it up. Um, when Bowie gets tired, and again, just so if we need to as well, that we can rotate things as well. Bowie takes a knock, it might not be enough to keep him injured, but it might just be enough to say, right, we're going to rest you this Saturday. We've got another target man there that can hold the ball up, do what you can. Okay, maybe not as well, but you
Yeah.
know we need options, and I just hope we're still looking at the free agent market.
The thing is, Bowie has got a concerning injury record. Not that I wish anything on him, obviously, but I think Hibs would be foolish to just assume that that's him
Yeah,
and he'll be all right now because unfortunately some players do just have that knack for getting injured. And Bowie's too young to say that he's definitely got that, but his recent record is a wee bit dodgy.
I think as well in Scottish football, if you're relied upon to play 90 minutes,
And the
you know,
way he plays as well.
yeah, the way he play, like he does not stop running, he
Mm.
doesn't stop closing down. So like eventually your hammies and
Uh,
other things are gonna kind of give up on you in the latter stages of games. So I just hope we're looking at that because it's still a kind of area that I think we need to strengthen.
Well, I'll finish on this question then, Robert. Hibs are 1-0 down to Dundee United, 2 minutes to go. Bowie gets injured. You've got gout, but they've said, can you go up top for a couple of minutes and just run about? Would you do
I try my best.
it?
What I'd probably do is I'd probably say to Boyle and Cliche, you guys run about. I'll just stick myself in the penalty box, and if anything comes in, I might still be able to react.
I don't think the Dundee United defenders should have much to worry about.
Probably not. Probably not.
I'm sure well, who knows, it might come to that. Right, we'll catch up next weekend, obviously, and look back at the Rangers Hearts games and the Hibs Dundee United game as well. But until then, worst of luck as always to the Hibbies.
Yeah, I don't. Do I want Rangers to beat Hearts?
Uh,
No, a draw actually suits Hibs. So I won't wish too much bad luck on you, but I certainly don't want a Hearts win.
Maybe a couple of suspensions and some drop points.
Yeah, red card maybe.
All right, Rob, always good, and I'll catch you next week.
Okay, see you next week.